Hi everyone, it's Dr. Meagan von Holtz with this week's tip of the week. To be honest, this week I found myself struggling not to complain about the heat, so I thought, how can I flip this and be positive? And I came up with one thing that the heat is actually good for. It actually can help the flexibility of our muscles. So if you're someone who always wakes up feeling really tight in the muscles, or you can tell just that your hamstrings aren't really flexible, this is a great time of year to work on that. One thing to know, it's really a terrible idea to stretch cold muscles. A lot of times you wake up, you're stiff, you feel like, oh, I need to stretch. But that's the time of day you might actually injure yourself. You really want them to be warm. So one thing to do is, take your warm shower, then go ahead and stretch. Or a lot of times I'll tell people go for a 5-minute brisk walk or do a minute of jumping jacks just to get your muscles warm before you stretch them. But this time of year, all you gotta do is walk out of the house for 30 seconds and your muscles are already getting pretty warm. So it's a good time to try to work on them. I'm gonna give you kind of highlights, my favorite stretches. My favorite neck stretch is just to repeat the 6 normal motions that your neck moves in over and over. So the first one is flexion extension. Just bringing your neck as far as you can forward and then extending it backward. And you do that just like that over and over. I probably do it about 20 times. And then you do rotating. And again, do that about 20 times. And then the last one I always do is the side bending. And to be honest, I probably do that 40 times because that is the most difficult to do. Now don't be nervous if you get halfway through and you hear it go click, pop, creak. That's okay. You're moving it in a normal motion. That's actually good for it. The only thing you don't want to do is force it. So if you notice that, this way you move great, but this way it's just not going, I never want you to take and really force it over, because that's when you're going to accidentally injure yourself. It's better if it's really tight, just to double the repetitions. Another great stretch is a lot of people's hamstrings are pretty tight. So one way, if you're outside, to stretch that is really just to bend forward. Try to touch your toes. If you're at home after your shower in the bed, same idea. Just leaning forward, trying to stretch and touch your toes. You probably want to do it, just about 10 seconds, 15 seconds, and relax. I'm going to have Jennifer help me with the last one. Go ahead and just lay on your back. One stretch that we do a lot with patients is the Piriformis stretch. So this is that tiny little muscle. It's probably only about 2 inches long in a lot of us, but it goes right over where that sciatic nerve comes out. So sometimes if that gets too tight, you can get that pain that runs down your leg. Let me have you bend this knee and cross that leg. So it's almost like she's making a number 4 with her leg. Now bend this knee, and then we're gonna try to bring this leg up toward her chest and just hold that about 15 seconds. Now she's flexible enough that she can put her hands under her leg and do that herself. A lot of people's shoulders won't let them move like that, so you can always loop a towel through there. So if she had that towel loop, she could have her hands up here and pulling. Now if I went to do the other side and turn, straighten both your legs. There you go, and then and now bend this up. A lot of people, she's actually pretty good, but a lot of people, if you do one side and then do the other, you'll definitely have one side that's a lot tighter than the other. And it's okay to do that one double the repetitions as you would do the other one until they get to feeling about the same. Thank you, Jennifer. That's this week's tip of the week. Join us next week for more. Have a great week.